The Power of Shared Experiences, a story of life, love, and redemption. Chapter 1. The Circle Forms. The community center's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as 8 strangers arranged their metal folding chairs in a reluctant circle. The sign on the door read, Life Skills Support Group, Tuesdays 7 p.m., but nobody had wanted to be the first to admit they needed to be there. Marcus, 34, clutched a coffee cup with shaking hands. 67 days clean, but who was counting? He was, every minute of every day. His leather jacket couldn't hide the weight he'd lost or the shadows under his eyes. Across from him sat Elena, 28, her designer purse placed deliberately between her feet like a shield. Her divorce had been finalized that morning, and she'd driven straight here instead of going home to her empty house and the bottle of wine calling from the kitchen counter. Sarah, 19, picked at her nail polish, black like her mood. College dropout, living in her parents' basement, watching her high school friends post their success stories on social media while she couldn't get out of bed most days. The facilitator, Dr. Chen, was younger than most of them expected. She settled into her chair with the easy confidence of someone who'd seen it all but hadn't given up hope. I know this is uncomfortable, Dr. Chen began, her voice warm but direct. Nobody wakes up excited about sharing their struggles with strangers. But here's what I've learned in 10 years of doing this work. Your worst day might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to get through their worst day. The first few weeks were painful. Stilted introductions, careful sharing, people staring at their phones, checking the clock, calculating the minimum time they needed to stay to satisfy court orders or family ultimatums. But something shifted in week 4. Chapter 2. Breaking Point. It was Marcus who cracked first. I keep lying to my sponsor, he blurted out, interrupting Sarah's rehearsed update about her job search. I tell him I'm fine, that the cravings are manageable, that I'm working the steps, but I'm not fine. Yesterday, I stood outside a liquor store for 2 hours. 2 hours. Just staring at the door like it was the gates of hell. The circle went silent. Sarah stopped picking her nails. Elena's grip tightened on her purse. I don't know why I didn't go in, Marcus continued, his voice breaking. Maybe it was thinking about my daughter. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was just dumb luck, but I didn't go in. And I hate that I'm proud of myself for doing the bare minimum of not destroying my life again. Dr. Chen leaned forward slightly. What does it feel like to say that out loud? Terrifying, Marcus admitted. Like I just painted a target on my chest. I stood outside a bridge last month, Sarah said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. Not to jump or anything dramatic, just to feel something. To see if the possibility of ending it would make me feel alive. It didn't. It just made me feel pathetic. Elena's carefully constructed composure began to crack. My ex-husband was cheating on me for 3 years. 3 years. And you know what the worst part is? I knew. Deep down I knew. And I convinced myself I was being paranoid. I made myself smaller and quieter and more convenient because I was so afraid of being alone that I chose to be lonely instead. The floodgates opened. James, 45, talked about losing his job and being too proud to tell his family he was sleeping in his car. Angela, 52, shared how her mother's death had left her so paralyzed with grief she hadn't left her house in 3 months. David, 23, opened up about his anxiety attacks that had cost him 2 jobs and most of his friends. And Rita, 67, the oldest in the group, surprised everyone by revealing she was there because her adult children had staged an intervention about her prescription drug dependency after her husband's death. I thought grief at my age was supposed to be dignified, Rita said, her voice steady despite her tears. Quiet and private and something you just endure. But it turns out grief is just as messy and desperate at 67 as it is at 27. Life Skills TTP with the Power Shared Experiences Part 1.